The National Centre for Sensor Research is a world-renowned, large-scale, multidisciplinary research facility focused on the science and applications of chemical sensors and biosensors. The NCSR is the largest research unit in DCU and one of the most successful research centres in Ireland today. Aiming to promote sensor technology for the benefit of society and the economy, the NCSR boasts well-equipped and spacious laboratories and today accommodates 260 researchers.
In the 1980s, mid to late 1980s, a group of us came together on the DCU campus and set up a group called the Sensors Research Centre. That was 1989. And we built up the sensor research effort throughout the 1990s. And in 1999, the NCSR, the National Centre for Sensor Research, was established.
Along with a number of smaller research groups, the NCSR is right now host to 3 large-scale research initiatives. The Centre for Bioanalytical Sciences is an industry-academia collaboration which resolves shared problems associated with research-intensive bioprocessing. The CBAS Consortium was established between DCU, NUIG, Bristol Myers Squibb Company and IDA Ireland.
Having something like the Centre for Bioanalytical Sciences associated to the NCSR allows us to boost our knowledge in terms of using the network here of the scientists. Some of the best scientists in the world are actually located here in this university under the NCSR umbrella. It's becoming harder and harder to get products from development to market, and one of the challenges set for the centre has been to look at novel analytical tools that will help industry to be able to work with the filing agencies to be able to bring drugs to market quicker. Behind me we have a high throughput robotic system, and one of the big challenges for this industry is to be able to screen samples very rapidly. It's unique to the country at the moment in terms of, I think, certainly the combination of the robotic system and one of the other instruments that's here. It probably is 3 of those instruments in the country, and only one of which we're aware of in an academic institution. So again, it stands to the ability of the NCSR to be able to attract government funding and be able to put in high-tech equipment that isn't even available in industry yet. And again, that strengthens the ties between industry and academia because it gives us an ability to work with this type of instrumentation and assess it. For the public, we would hope that what we're doing today will contribute to more personalised medicines. So for example, in the future, rather than having a drug that's taken en masse by everybody and it's a hit and miss scenario, we will have much more advanced therapeutic effects from our drugs and, less side effects in terms of the toxicology of drugs.
Clarity, a Science Foundation Ireland-funded Centre for Science, Engineering and Technology, was established in April 2008. The Clarity CSET is a partnership between UCD and DCU, supported by research at the Tyndall National Institute in Cork. By focusing on the important research areas of adaptive sensing and information discovery, it hopes to develop innovative new technologies.
Specifically within the NCSR, the Clarity work that's going on is focused in 2 areas. One is in distributed environmental monitoring using autonomous platforms. These are platforms that basically work unattended, so you deploy them where the measurement needs to be done. So rather than bringing a sample to an instrument, you put the instrument where the sampling needs to happen, and it generates the information in situ. So we do air quality, water quality, soil, dust quality, distributed monitoring. There's quite a well-developed program of wearable sensing happening within Clarity as well.
The wearable sensor is something that's ideally part of your clothing that will monitor signals from the body. So it can monitor your body temperature, or it can monitor electrical signals like your heart rate. It can also monitor things that are in the environment, because also your clothes are an interface between the person and its environment. So it can monitor a danger, say a toxic gas or something in the environment. A lot of people are more active nowadays and doing more sports. So in the gym, you can see a lot of the machines monitor your heart rate. Why not have clothes that can do that for you? So what we want to do is make the fabric the sensor so that it can be easily integrated into clothes and that you're not sort of sticking on these gadgets, but that the garment is still just like a normal piece of clothing that you'd buy in the shops. So some of the things we have are, this is basically a stretch sensor, but it's just a normal soft piece of lycra fabric. When you stretch it, we can measure that change in signal. If you put it in a band around the chest, by the ribcage expanding and contracting, you can actually monitor the breathing rate. Another sensor we have is a simple foam. It's just, again, really soft, and by putting that into the insoles of shoes, we can monitor somebody's walking and somebody's pace.
The Biomedical Diagnostics Institute is a multidisciplinary research centre focused on the development of next-generation biomedical diagnostic devices.
It's basically just a large multidisciplinary institute that's working on medical diagnostics. And our particular area of focus is point-of-care instrumentation. So basically, instead of the patient coming to the hospital or to the lab to get a test done, you kind of take the test out to the patient. So it's particularly useful for either elderly or in-home use kind of situations, or for the developing world where they wouldn't have the clinical facilities available. Many projects that we're working on are for either cardiovascular risk determination. So that would end up being kind of a small chip that you would just put either a drop of blood or something like that into, and it would tell you basically what chemicals were in your body that indicated that you had a risk for a cardiovascular disorder. So it would be something like the home pregnancy test. You would be able to get an immediate kind of clinical result at home.
Other smaller research divisions include the Optical Sensor Laboratory and the Sensors and Separations Group.
When someone is breathing in and out, we have a sensor that can measure the oxygen concentration as they're breathing in and out. And this is important both in clinical applications for people who have conditions such as type 2 diabetes or asthma, but also for high performance athletic monitoring type applications where you're on a treadmill running, and there are already systems that are quite heavy that the athletes have to wear whilst they're running. And we've developed a system that's much lighter so they can wear it and not be too encumbered whilst they're running on the treadmill or cycling. We have a number of different projects at various stages. One of them involves measuring actually carbon dioxide in water. And again, that has the environmental monitoring type application. Also, we're just about to start some work on using mobile phones as measurement platforms as well, so that you can take your common mobile phone and have an application run on it, and you can then use that. You then slot a little sensor onto the back of it and use it to measure something that maybe it could be water quality or it could be something in your blood.
Well, ammonia is a poisonous gas that's present naturally in the atmosphere, but we also manufacture it on large scales in industry. Ammonia can be released from our body, so it's omnipresent in the world. It's a naturally occurring gas. And as such, it being a poisonous gas, we need to be able to monitor it. And we can use ammonia sensors to be able to do that. So what we do in our lab is we make ammonia sensors, and we use what we call conducting plastics in order to make these types of sensors. The type of technology that we use, we just patented in fact last year, and it's based on a particular nanoparticle formula of conducting plastic that we can deposit using inkjet printing. And inkjet printing is the type of printing that most of us use at our computers. So it's a very, very simple technology using essentially a conducting plastic as the ink within the inkjet printer.
The NCSR works closely with the Invent Centre, also based in Dublin City University, to transform their research and knowledge into commercial success.
Normally, we don't have in the university, nor has any other university, something which can be nicely packaged and sold as a product. You always need somebody to invest some further money in it, and that involves usually a collaborative development program where we may do further sponsored research to tailor the product to meet certain additional requirements and specifications the company has. That's what the commercialization activity is all about.
We're able to get immediate access to both academic, industrial, and then the clinical partners. So rather than just having a laboratory device where we're just testing it, we're able to get the device made in prototype form with some of our industrial partners and then take it straight to the clinics.
I think what makes it so unique is that it has first and foremost a unique approach to interdisciplinary science. That is to say, it brings together in an innovative and productive way physicists, chemists, biotechnologists, who are all bringing slightly different perspectives to look at the possibilities for solving particular problems.
If I have a problem that I feel a biologist can solve, I can merely just go and knock on their door. Equally, they can come to me as I'm a chemist. We also have physicists and engineers.
The commercialization process for fundamental science is a very long one. It can take anywhere from 10 to 15 years for a breakthrough in a piece of fundamental science to be further developed and patented and accepted internationally before it can be licensed to anybody, whether an Irish company or an international company.
So what does the future hold for the NCSR?
In the NCSR, we strongly adhere to the ethos of research with a conscience. We do research very much with an eye on how we can repay the debt that we have to society through improved services, through spin-out companies, through IP agreements with industry partners, so that we can contribute to the growth of wealth and resources in the country that are then subsequently reinvested back into R&D. Well, the way I look at the longer term is that if you think back to the 1980s, there was a group of us then who were relatively young, took on the responsibility of developing this entity that became the NCSR. And you've seen in this programme some of the emerging research leaders, the young people who, in my opinion, in 5-10 years will be leading their own research within the NCSR. So the future will belong to them.